Hello, anime fans. We are the Anime Connoisseurs.
What's going on, guys? We're back with the latest episode of the Anime Connoisseurs. We're all excited. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's been a while, but we're back.
Yes, this episode is a little different. We'll be doing some manga recommendations.
I think you guys are going to enjoy this. We tried our best to pick some obscure manga that maybe not everybody has heard of.
Yeah.
And, I think you guys will like this. I've been reading a lot of stuff recently, and I think you guys will like the story that I have. So,
yeah, same here. I've been getting pretty deep into manga. I had a lot of options for this video, so
that's good.
Yeah. So, I suppose I'll kick us off with my choice.
Okay.
And the title of my choice is, brace yourself for this one, Dead Demons Destruction.
Dead Demons Destruction.
Yes.
I think that's on playing that Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Yeah. DDD monsters, let's go.
It's time to destruction.
Oh my god. So what is this manga about, Noah?
You wouldn't be able to guess from the title, but
okay.
I'm just going to call it DDD from now on. This is a manga by Asano Inio. For those of you who don't know, that's the author of Oyasumi Punpun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this one's going to fuck you up.
Oh no. Dude, Punpun. Here's the thing about Punpun. You don't enjoy Punpun. You just, you
experience it.
Exactly. It's... And, that manga is very well done, but a lot of people were, saying, damn, bro, this manga's, really... It makes you really sad, makes you really depressed.
I have not read Punpun yet, but it's on my list. Yeah. And this one definitely gives you a lot of those same kind of existential crisis vibes.
Okay.
Let me tell you, reading this manga in one sitting at 1:30 in the morning was a fucking experience.
Ooh.
It was like an out-of-body ethereal moment.
Ethereal, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the basic premise of this is that there's an alien ship has descended onto Earth and is currently hovering over Japan, and the world is trying to kind of catch up and figure out what these aliens want, what they're doing here. And at the same time, the main story is about these two teenage girls, Oran and Kadore. And they're just kind of living their life, really. It's more of a... that part of the story is more of a slice of life, if anything.
Okay.
The aliens have surprisingly little to do with it until a certain point, and anybody who's read this manga knows what point that is. And one thing that kind of hit me when I was reading this manga is that there aren't a whole lot of alien invasion stories in manga, as opposed to the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the kind of cultural implications of that are. I can maybe count on one hand the number of, alien invasion kind of stories in manga and anime and such.
Yeah, I mean, technically Dragon Ball.
Oh, well, I guess so. It's not really the kind of the quote-unquote alien invasion that we know here.
Well, yeah, but, the Saiyans coming to Earth,
Yeah. My point is, DDD is probably one of the most realistic depictions of a quote-unquote alien invasion that I've seen. And that it focuses less on the actual aliens themselves and is more a reflection of humanity and their reaction to these aliens. It's a bit like District 9 in that regard.
Oh.
Right down to the same...
Oh, yeah, that's a movie I really like.
Right down to the same imagery of the giant ship hovering in the sky perpetually.
I'm thinking of Cloverfield, stuff like that.
Cloverfield, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
It's a sort of reflection on the nature of humanity, nationalism, sort of, because the ship is specifically over Japan, and thus we get a lot of Japan's sort of hints of nationalism that they have.
Yeah.
and it's very and it's super interesting. But the other side of that is more of a slice of life. It's more of a slice of life story, really. And like I said, the alien thing is for most of the story just kind of a backdrop for these vignettes of various people on how they interact with these with the ship and these aliens.
Oh, okay. It's,
Interesting.
Yeah.
that's the kind of sci-fi I'm starting to like more and more these days.
Yeah, I think you get a kick out of this manga then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Blame. That's another one.
Blame. Yeah, I heard of that one.
Yeah.
I think that's not quite the same, but
Well, it's sci-fi, but like, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah. One interesting thing about the story is that we don't actually, minor spoilers, first of all,
okay.
we don't really get to see the aliens until about a third of the way into the story.
Okay.
Like it's just kind of, that's the kind of tone we're setting. Like the first third of the story is just kind of like people living their lives with this alien ship kind of coloring all the events of the story. Like, you know, we have his characters like going to high school and getting romantically involved and, you know, eventually going to college and getting jobs and such and such and such. And it eventually, yeah, and the ship is just kind of like a part of the backdrop of it, which, I mean, if you think about it, if there was an alien invasion, that's kind of what it would be like. Like, yeah, there'd be the initial shock of the aliens coming out and like, oh, we're not alone in the universe and all that. But like after a couple years, it would just become kind of the norm.
yeah.
And that's a big point of the story. Like, one of the main characters, Oron, one of her big inner conflicts is that like she wished that like the aliens. She was glad when the aliens came because she thought it would shake things up. You know, it would turn the world to chaos and she could make a new life. But you know, everything just kind of stayed the same.
Yeah. This is wait, like, is it an actual invasion or is like this more just like a first contact kind of thing?
You know, it's not really. Again, it's kind of made vague. It's kind of vague for the first part of the story. Like we get the actual main story takes place 3 years after the actual first contact. So again, that's enough time for it to kind of become the norm. So what happened in the story was that like the ship just kind of appeared in the sky, and a bunch of those alien ships and a bunch of like mini alien ships came out, and of course there was a military reaction to that because you know we gotta shoot that stuff down.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just kind of nothing for a while. You know, the ship is just kind of hanging over Japan. They're sometimes sending out some scouting ships, but mostly just doing nothing.
Like just like a reconnaissance mission, or
yeah. Well, again, like we don't see the aliens until a third of the way into the story, and when we do see we do actually see the aliens. It kind of recontextualizes the whole thing. You know, it recontextualizes the military's actions and like the actual presence of the ship and what their purpose is.
Yeah, because you think like you think the military would just like, you know, try to fight the aliens.
Yeah,
you know, the whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Like, there's a lot of, you know, paramilitary operations trying to, you know, contain the aliens and keep their ships under control and such. And a big plot point is that the government is building these gigantic like death rays to keep the alien ships intact.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Another part of the story that I think is really interesting is that in the fiction of DDD, there's a gag manga called Isobayan, and it's the strip in the manga, I guess, is about it's a pretty standard like 80s early 90s gag manga. I think in the way of like a rail or something like that.
Raleigh.
Raleigh, right? Thank you.
No, it is a rail. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
The one
about
that
like
Toriyama wrote?
it's about your typical. It's about like a girl living with an alien who has like a bunch of high tech alien gadgets, and she counts.
Rail is the one that Toriyama wrote, right?
Yeah, it is before Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The point is that Isobeon is it's about this girl who's living with an alien who has all these alien gadgets, and she's using all these, and she constantly uses these gadgets to get in trouble, and get herself into trouble and such and such. And throughout DDD, we see these Isobeon strips at the start of each volume, and they seem disconnected from the story at first, but you slowly see that Isobeon is sort of a reflection of the real world. You've got the fantasy version of aliens, which are these sort of high tech, possibly benevolent, possibly malicious entities. Contrasted with reality, where the aliens are just kind of unknowable, or so we might think, as we see in the manga later. And it's hard to describe without giving too much away, but these like gag manga strips do have a lot of like emotional weight to the story and how they mirror the actual events of these characters' lives.
Well, that's to be expected from the author.
Yeah. I haven't read any of his other works, but that does sound like stuff that happens in his work.
Yeah, be careful. Because you probably could be pretty sad after you.
I'll brace myself for that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah. And as usual, of course, like the art is gorgeous.
Okay.
You keep getting these super detailed shots of like the alien mothership in the city, and and a lot of it has some, and honestly, I've noticed that it has a bit of a more like Western feel to it. It doesn't look like your average manga, honestly, in terms of like character design and some other aspects. And I think that was kind of intended to a certain degree.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like I said, the quote unquote alien invasion is more of a Western trope. And I think it was trying to sort of capture that idea.
Yeah. So I think didn't the author like purposefully draw like the main character of Poon Poon to be like underdrawn compared to like the rest of the manga?
Yeah, I don't know the true. I don't know. I don't know, but I know the protagonist of Poon Poon is like that bird sketch thing.
Yeah, I think it takes on multiple forms or something like that. But
yeah.
And this is all just like stuff that I've heard, like cultural osmosis.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about is that there's a twist in DDD regarding one of the main characters that completely threw me for a loop. Like, I didn't see it coming at all, but it still works really well, and it honestly adds a whole nother layer of complexity and context to these characters who, up to this point, has been acting pretty strangely for ways that you would initially just pass off, like, oh, she's just a quirky character, but then you learn this huge twist about her past, and it's like, whoa, this is something completely different.
Damn, it'd be like that.
Yeah, it's almost like reading a completely different story after that because of how crazy it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, and that twist, I think, cemented this manga as a bona fide classic for me, anyways.
Nice.
So the manga is still ongoing, I think. I think it's close to the end, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of the last chapter kind of ended on it ended on a pretty big cliffhanger. So
interesting.
Yeah, I am excited to see where Inio takes this. I think it's gonna. I genuinely don't know where it's gonna go. All I want to say is, if you're interested in any of that, read Dead Demons Destruction.
Dead
that's all I have to
Demons
say about
Destruction.
It's Dead Demons Destruction.
Dead Demons D. How many D's? Three or four?
In the destruction part, there's 5 D's. Destruction.
Oh my god. Okay.
You could just look up, like, honestly, on any like manga site, you can just look up like Dead, and it'll come up in the recommended.
Okay. Dang. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I might check it out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my manga is called Tsukihime. Now, if you are in the Type Moon fandom, you've probably heard of this. And this is a manga that I finished a couple weeks ago, and I kind of like it. I liked it. It was good. Now, this is by the same guy who wrote Fate, Nasu, right?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He writer Fate Stay Night and most of the Natsu series, yeah.
Yeah. So this story is about a boy named Shikitono, and basically he has this power where he sees these scribbles, and the manga describes it as scribbles. Now, just to let you know, there are multiple routes, and the manga only covers one route, the Arcuate route. So if you want to get the full story, you're going to have to either read the VN or just look up like a YouTube video of it.
Have you read the VN or seen it?
No, I've only read the manga at this point, but I'm planning to read the rest of it. I know about some stuff in the other routes, and also this. So Suki actually got a remake called Suki R. And that came out a couple weeks ago. Going back to the plot, basically there's this so Tono sees these lines or like scribbles, and I think they're red. And when he has a knife, and when he cuts through the lines, he completely like goes through like the object or whatever he's touching. So basically he cut like a chair with a knife. But these lines are on humans as well. So basically he can kill anybody. Like the lines are pretty fucked. Like they're in everybody. You know what I mean? So now he this is kind of a problem because it makes him go crazy. And he's really sad because he has to like deal with this his entire life. And then he meets this woman named Aozaki Aoko. Now, she's my favorite character, and she is basically the Kiritsugu Emiya of the story, like kind of like how he was to Shiro. So she's like a very powerful mage that is like a teacher, like a sensei kind of archetype. She gives him these glasses, and the glasses actually stop him from seeing the scribbles, like the lines. And she tells him that, or you learn later that the eyes that he has are called the mystic eyes of death perception. And that is something that a couple other characters in the Nasuverse have as well. And
there's another character with death perception, but like mystic eyes are a big thing. Death perception is not exactly common, but
I see. So like, because you're talking about like Ryoki Shiki, right? Like
with mystic eyes is pretty common.
Okay, so like I know so mystic eyes, like other characters have that, like I think there a fake character that has it.
There's quite a few. Ilias Veal, Medusa.
Oh, right, Medusa.
There's
a
whole arc in like Waivers spin-off series about characters with mystic eyes.
Interesting. Does Kiritsugu have them?
No.
Okay.
So Tsukihime, this is the companion manga / VN to Melty Blood, right?
Yeah, so Melty Blood is actually a sequel to a route that doesn't exist. And then that became a video game, like a fighting game, and yeah, here we are now. So Suki has some characters that Melty has some characters that Suki doesn't have. And it is like a sequel technically, and you'll see, and they kind of explain more stuff. So without getting into too many spoilers, basically what happens is he trains, or not really trains, but he talks to Aoko, and she's really nice to him, and Aoko's a sweetie pie, by the way, like excellent character. So then she leaves, and he's like, "Wow, like this woman like completely changed my life. Like she gave me like these glasses that like don't let me constantly like carve through things with my knife. And there's more to
so
it.
is the knife so having the knife that just makes him kind of like freak out every now and then and kill people or something?
So the thing that makes him freak out is actually something that's a spoiler, but he just carries around the knife just because, like, why not? Like just to have it.
The knife enables him to like use his
ability. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a tool that just like
that's how he carves through the lines. You know what I mean?
Do something with his mystic eyes, basically.
Yeah. So now obviously that's kind of a problem, like when you're going crazy all the time. So he actually wakes up in a hospital, I think. And like he's in one of those beds, and he basically has to start like his life with these powers. So what happens is, so he goes to high school, like he has like friends and whatever. Everything's cool, it's Type Moon. You're gonna see a lot of like modern Japan, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he meets this woman, and when he first sees her, he thinks like, "Damn, I want to kill that bitch." Okay, so basically, he meets this woman named Arcroid, and when he sees her, he gets this like compulsion to kill her, and he completely mutilates her. Like he cuts her up into pieces, and like he doesn't know why. Like he has like this I don't know, like urge just to do it, just to kill her, and he does it, and he's like, "Wow, I actually did that." And he starts hearing on the news of these vampire like attacks. Like there's like somebody going around like killing people, and he's like, "Damn, is that me?"
Let me guess. Were they covered up as gas leaks, or was it like called like
as what?
As gas leaks, like typically in Nosferatu, when there's like crazy stuff going on, it'll get covered up as gas leaks. But
you'll see.
That old chestnut.
You'll see. But basically, he gets into like an alleyway, and guess who he sees behind him? He sees Arcuid behind him. So she's actually alive. And that is where I'll leave you guys off.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah. And here's the thing. I really like Tono, Shiki Tono. I think now I like him more than Shiro. I think he's a lot edgier than Shiro, and I like his design more. And I really liked Suki. Some of the villains are really good, and the villains are. There's one villain that's really good, and I think you guys would. I think Noah would like him. And basically, it's pretty messed up. There's some fucked up stuff that happens, but it's Type Moon. It's gonna be cool like that. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. And yeah, don't worry about it. And let's just say that it's a lot of people, a lot of Melty Blood players say that Tsukihime is better than Fate. But it's just not as popular because the character designs aren't as like
bombastic.
Yeah, like for example, you're not going to get a a Gilgamesh
Yeah, I have noticed just from what I've seen in passing about Melty Blood and Tsukihime and such is that the character designs are a lot more subdued than they are in Fate.
But there's a reason for that, and the reason for that is because the characters in Tsuki and Melty, they want to conceal their powers, as opposed to Fate characters that are like, servants.
Yeah, I can fuck with that.
Yeah. So I think if you like Fate or Karno Kyokai or whatever, I think you'll like Tsukihime and Melty Blood. I would give it a chance.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I might check it out at some point.
Yeah, I think you would like it. And the villain powers are kind of sick. Like, there's this one villain with this power where oh my god, it's really cool. Like, the villains are sick.
Is this the one with vampires?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I'm looking forward to reading the sequel that is Melty Blood, because there is a Melty Blood manga.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna read that next and tell you guys what I think. But Shikitono is a great character. I think you guys will like him. All right, Chaos. What is the manga that you want to talk about?
So the manga I decided to talk about is called The Terrifying Assassin and the Little Girl He Took In.
Oh.
This is a pretty short little thing. It's if you've seen like The Helpful Fox Senko, it's written by the same guy. So it's got a very similar art style.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's just a really cute thing where it's basically the everything you didn't need to know is in the title.
Okay.
There's this assassin.
Wait, can you repeat the title again?
The Terrifying Hitman and the Little Girl He Took In.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just about this this hitman who like gets a hit that involves this little girl. He decides and he takes her in and like sort of ends up having to take care of her while pretending he's going to end up eventually killing her.
Is it wholesome?
It is. It very much is. Again, it's written by the same guy who did The Helpful Fox Senko, which is like about as wholesome as it gets.
Yeah. Is that the one with that's the Fox Girl Senko, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Well, no, I've seen screen caps of that one.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't read too much manga, which is why I was having a hard time choosing something. And this isn't like particularly deep or anything. It's just
sometimes you just want a light snack from manga.
It's just a really cute premise, funny.
I do kind of like that. I do kind of like that. I do kind of like that classic juxtaposition of like terrifying strong man who can kill you in 12 different ways, and the little kid that tags along with him.
Yeah. I don't have much to say on this. It's just like if you find the title interesting, you'll probably like it.
That's definitely a title that sucks you in.
Yeah. I guess since I didn't have much to say on that, one thing I could say, this one's not exactly obscure, but the Evangelion manga is worth reading if you have any interest in that series.
Oh yeah.
It's because it's sort of there's something that happened in the movie that sort of recontextualized the existence of the manga.
Oh.
Okay. So for anyone who doesn't really know what Evangelion is, it's a mecha series, dealing with sort of like this invasion of these giant kaiju creatures called angels.
There's a lot of religious symbolism in that series.
There is, and there's also this heavy emphasis on this sort of psychological horror and character deconstructions, especially of like typical mecha tropes.
Well, I've never seen Evangelion. Is it like a horror series or kind of?
Kind of, yes.
I think it's sort of more like psychological, you know?
Yeah, the psychological stuff, horror stuff starts creeping in like a little later on in the series. It's not immediate.
Okay.
Uh,
I just know that Shinji's dad is an asshole, and
yes,
there's
Gendo is not a great dad, but he is quite a compelling character once you get to know.
so kind of like Kiritsugu. Okay, well, Kiritsugu was a good father to Shiro, but not to Ilya.
I mean that wasn't Ilya wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I mean,
extenuating circumstances, kind of.
yeah, but okay, yeah, you know what I mean.
Calling Minato a bad father because he fucking died.
It was kind of his fault.
Well, yeah, but Minato kind of killed himself, though.
Yeah, that's true as well.
But yeah, back to Evangelion. There's a lot of like weird Freudian sort of psychological.
Ooh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Stuff.
Oh, that's
a series. Like you should definitely watch. Read that manga in addition to watching the series and the new movies rebuild series.
Yeah, the new movie, the new Evangelion movie came out recently. I heard.
Yes, it did.
And it was good, right?
I loved it. It's kind of contentious at within the fan base. There's people who love it or hate it.
Yeah, seems to be a running theme in Evangelion properties.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just pretty common when it comes to. Isn't the mecha fan base kind of like that, where a lot of stuff is contentious? Like Iron-Blooded Orphans, what the ending to that was like contentious, right?
Yeah.
And I know Code Geass is a little bit like that too at times.
There's a lot of hipsters in the mecha fan base.
Yeah.
They don't hate anything that's popular, but
even though Code Geass is excellent, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Totally do it.
I mean, I wouldn't consider Code Geass math. Well, yeah, I would, but wouldn't. It's
okay.
Complicated.
It's it's got like the best and worst of anime.
Yeah.
Watch it. Just watch it. Just do it.
That's something to watch. I feel like I'm not saying enough about Evangelion.
Would you say that Evangelion's a masterpiece?
Or
some of it is.
Yeah.
You
know,
so I know about the waifus in that, and a lot of people really like the characters like Misato, Asuka, Rei. Like a lot of people talk about them. They're very iconic from what I've seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you know anime, you probably know about them. Huh?
Yeah, like you know who they are. And then Shinji, people like the jokes are like
Shinji.
Yeah.
like he's a Sigma male. That's the joke about him.
Shinji is a character that is worth a lot of discussion about sort of fan perception of him, just like the kind of person he is.
So it's not like Lelouch, right? It's like he completely different from someone like Lelouch.
But it sounds like the exact opposite of Lelouch.
Yeah, Shinji's a very timid kid.
Oh, okay.
And like,
is he similar to Simon from Gurren Lagann?
Sort of. I mean, they start out at very similar places, but I think they go pretty different directions.
I mean, there's points where it feels like Shinji and Simon are pretty similar, especially in the rebuilds.
Well, because I know Shinji is like a negative character, right?
There's points where it's a negative character arc, and
yeah,
it depends on, and it depends on the version you're experiencing.
Okay, multiverse or I'll see. Okay, I'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
Because I know like the Evangelion movies are all like different timelines of the manga, right? Or the anime, right?
The events definitely transpire differently. I will say that things transpire very differently from the original series and then the manga.
So, what are some series?
Yeah, the manga the manga, by the way, was like written after the series and like took
Oh yeah.
like took a long time to like come out and finish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some series that you would recommend this to? Let me rephrase that. Like, if someone has seen blank series, who would you recommend that? Like Evangelion to?
Evangelion. I honestly feel like I could recommend Evangelion to pretty much any kind of anime fan, or just like anyone really.
Because I was thinking stuff like Gurren Lagann and Code Geass.
I like Mecha. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty.
well, oh yeah, Mecha fans are gonna like it, obviously. But if you like some sort of sort of character deconstructions, psychological sort of like it's a really cerebral series.
Okay.
Is
it messed up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because like the angels are pretty. That's like where the messed up stuff comes from, right?
Not just
not just. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So is that all you have to say?
I feel like it didn't say enough, but yeah.
All right. So those were our manga recommendations. We might do another one of these videos in the future.
I hope so. I have a lot of series that I would like to talk about at some point.
Yeah. I'll definitely throw in my my series as well. Obviously, like I read a lot of popular stuff, so we'll see. But like, I think I got some good stuff. So, Noah, would you like to do the outro?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to this channel. So this has been the Anime Connoisseurs. Good night, everybody.